160. He's gone.
What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing a quick unboxing and kind of general overview of the AHP Alphatig 200X. This is the 2015 model. And I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like coming out of the box, how you set it up, and all the little things that you're going to need in addition to the welder to kind of get started. So let me get a knife and let's. So this box probably got here straight from China like this. One of the nice things is Amazon is really the retailer you want to go through for this. And what they have is, normally this unit retails for about $800, but if you get it while it's out of stock, the price drops significantly and you can get it for as low as about $650 shipped, but you're going to have to wait a couple of weeks to get it, which is what I did. So, right on top here, we have our AHP Welds user manual, and take this out real quick and take a look at it. Feels nice, decent kind of quality paper. You got all of your various parameters, setup instructions. Just kind of glancing through this, it looks to be like it's written in actual English and not Chinglish, so that's good. And there's a basic chart to show you what kind of electrodes you need to use and some decent information, as well as AHP's 3-year warranty. Amazon is an authorized dealer, so you can take advantage of this warranty. So let's set this aside. Next, we can take out this box right here. Now, this box, I'm guessing, is all of our little peripheral items. So I'm just gonna open that up here real quick. See what we got in here. So, argon flow meter regulator. This is kind of the standard Chinese unit. You can probably buy a version of this at Harbor Freight. I know in Chucky 2009 review, he said that he uses this regulator and it works pretty well for him. So I see no reason to upgrade this for now. So let's just put this kind of back in the box here for a minute and set it aside. This right here is the Chinese style foot pedal. It's not the Miller style where it's like the whole thing, but it has a nice spring to it. Right there you can see there's no adjustment on the foot pedal. The foot pedal is just the foot pedal. And we have a standard, 7-pin connector on the end of this, so it's probably interchangeable with other welding foot pegs. We have our ground clamp. Ooh, that's nice and strong. It's a very strong ground clamp. Standard dism plug, same thing that's on our what do we call it, plasma cutter. So we're gonna set that aside for a moment. Let's see what else we got here. This is the torch. We're gonna set that aside for a minute. What else we got here? Again, standard dism plug. This is gonna be our stick welding attachment. It's nice to use in a ground clamp. It's got good teeth, really very, very tight. And to wrap it up, we have this, which I believe is the air hose fitting, or I'm sorry, the argon fitting line, basically just a soft line. Then we have one of these, which is nice. This converts it from 120 to 240. As you can see, it's basically the standard plug right here that I have in my wall. And this will allow us to use both the plasma cutter and this welder on 120. Now, if I cut apart this bag right here, take a look at some of the consumables. So this is where our tungsten goes into. It goes into the end of the torch. We got a standard 7 5, 7, and 8, or no, sorry, 5, 7, and 6 cups. You know, in comparison, I got this. This is a number 8 cup from a local welding supply. These are a little bit daintier, a little bit lighter feeling than the nicer American one may have, but they're not too bad. Let's see. Holders for the tungsten, different size collets, I believe they're called. There should be a third size. Yep, third size collet. And then this is also a plug, so if you're not using a longer tungsten, you can use this plug. To be honest with you, I'm not really sure. I've never had something that had a real short tungsten in it that I could use this sort of plug with. And then this, I imagine, holds your collets in place. Yep, that holds your collets in place. So, put that aside. Now we can take a look at the torch itself. So first of all, let's focus on the torch head. This is a 17F head. It has this little switch on here for using the hand control, and it looks it's nice because it's a flex head tip, which is convenient. Oh, there we go. So these screw on like that, and then this screws in here. Then we can just drop our whole assembly through the front, and there we go. And I won't pretend to teach anybody how they're supposed to have this set up, but basically there is our complete assembled unit ready to weld. Obviously this has to be sharpened. So on this side of the connector we have, this is for our hand switch. This is for a little quick connect for our gas line, and this is another standard DISM plug. So this thing is interchangeable with all the different kinds of welders that you may have if you have multiple units. And so it also has this nice, what is that, denim sheath, kind of like a jean, and it just kind of protects your cable, and inside you can see all of this. You know, it's got a nice, if I can get this thing done. The cable itself has a nice protective sheath on it, but this just kind of keeps all the lines together. If you're not going to be using this, the hand switch very often, I always learn to TIG with my foot. You can actually just uncut these zip ties and take the whole unit out of the sheath and just set it aside for if you ever need it. So that's pretty much it as far as various accessories go. So now we can actually pull out the Alphatig itself. Yeah, so now we can pull out the Alphatig itself, and as you can see, it's shipped in this nice bulky foam. You know, it's not some dinky packaging. And so if we just take that off right here, you can grab it. It's got a nice solid handle. It just pulls right out of the box. Rip apart all of this plastic and boom. Get some plastic. We got and the other nice thing is a lot of these Chinese welders don't come terminated. This one does. It comes with a nice heavy duty cable. It's already there, and if you need to use it on the 120 function, you just plug in the adapter and go. Now, as far as the Alphatig itself, I would say it's probably about 2 feet tall, a little bit under a foot wide, and about 18 inches deep. It's got a very, very nice finish. It's a similar kind of yellow that matches our plasma cutter actually, but the finish on this is much nicer. It's clearly either baked on paint or powder coated. You have your standard DISM connections here. This is your controller, either your foot pedal or not, and then there's got this little gas quick connect on the front. Right here you can see we have our gauges. We have our AC/DC switch, our TIG stick switch, 2T is using the foot, 4T is using the handle, and 4T is on and off, I believe. So you have to click it on, click it off. That's pulse, no pulse. You have a foot pedal light, an overheating light, I imagine. You can set your start amps, your main amps up to 200, and your end amps. So basically, this is the value that your arc kicks off at. This is where it's at under full bore, and this is where it trails off. And the other thing that's nice is all of these have a really nice, heavy, dense feel to them. They feel like quality items. Your second row is going to be your pulse frequency, your pulse amps, and the pulse time on, or duty cycle. And the bottom one is going to be AC frequency in hertz. Supposedly this goes all the way up to 200. AC balance, this has to do with how much cleaning you get out of your AC signal. And post flow, I think this also has to do with puddles, with how you do AC welding. I'm not at all familiar with AC welding. I've done quite a bit of TIG. I've done some stick, but I've never really gotten to do real AC welding. So I'm looking forward to learning about these functions. But kind of as a noob, this is a noob review. You know, and you can just grab like here. If we just grab this as the this is what is it? The ground clamp. The ground clamp pops right in here. Once you twist it, it's nice and secure, and it feels quality. You can put it on the positive side. I mean, everything about this kit, these are nice. Like you can probably see it in the camera how it's moving around. These are nice, soft touch materials. These are, you know, to be honest with you, we had millers at the shop. Granted, those are used by a bunch of kids all the time, so they get beat on pretty hard. But I would be willing to venture that just on feel and quality, I don't know about durability, this feels every bit as good as an American-made welder. If we go around to the back, you have your circuit breaker on and off. And you have one gas fitting right here. Very, very basic, very clean. It's got these louvers that keep crap out of the fan, which is nice. This gas fitting will match up with, again, another fairly high quality piece. It feels nice. You have a decent amount of length to it. Looks like maybe 4.5, 5 feet. And this will thread basically in here. And the other end of this will thread into our regulator. So that's pretty much it in terms of overview of what you get out of the box with the Alphatig 200X from AHP. So let me just go ahead and move on and talk to you guys a little bit about the other stuff you need. So just because you got a brand new welder doesn't mean you're ready to plug it into the wall, even assuming you have a 220 volt socket. Some of the things that you're going to need for TIG welding, you're going to need electrodes. They used to be called 2% thoriated. Now they're called E3. It's a new formulation, but it's the same stuff. So you're going to need one of these. And you're going to sharpen it. I'm using 3/32 because most of the stuff I do is fairly big. I will probably end up picking up a set of 1/16 as well. Just to get started and just practice, I picked up 1 pound of aluminum 3/32 filler rod and about 5 pounds of steel filler rod. Now, this stuff I bought at my local welding supply as well as this. Just to give you an example, tungstens are about $4.50 a piece. I found that to be constant whether I go to the welding shop or go online. They're about $4.50 a piece for Best Welds or any other quality supplier. These are Harris, made by a company called Harris. And this is about $5.50 a pound. This is about $3.50 a pound, I believe. But you can get both of these for about half that price just off of Amazon with Prime shipping. I didn't think ahead, so I just went ahead and bought a small amount from my local weld supply because, you know, we're talking about $5 difference. It's not a big deal for me right now, but in the future I will be ordering online. I also bought this. This is Hobart 6010 Pipe Master 1/8 electrodes. So this is what you use for stick welding. So if we come back over here, here's your stick welder. The way this works is you basically grab that piece right there, like so. So it's nice and locked in. And then you go and weld with it. It's basically a stick version of flux core, like what I have in my little crappy MIG. And we're going to be using quite a bit of this stuff because it makes welding kind of larger projects easier, where you don't need, you want good penetration, good quality welds, but you don't necessarily need it to look as good as TIG welding does. Last thing is this right here. I paid $200 for this cylinder plus $30 to fill it up with 100% pure argon. This is a 125 cubic foot cylinder. Some people call them 122s for some reason. So I now own this cylinder, and if I ever need to, I can go back to Texas Welding Supply, which is where I got this from. And it comes with a valve, and when you're buying these, you'll see a lot of them on Craigslist. And there's a couple of things you really want to look for. If you see this outer collar, you can see mine is clear. If it's clear, or if it says customer embossed right here, you can buy that from a person. Do not go on Craigslist and buy a tank that says Airgas or Praxair or Texas Welding Supply on it, because those are rental tanks. You cannot sell them. They will not fill them up unless anywhere other than the place you bought them, and they will charge you a contract fee. For some people, it makes sense because generally speaking, a contract is going to be maybe $10 a month, but your refills are $10. So if you're an actual welder and you're going through these tanks, you know, night and day, and you just want to swap them out real quick, then renting tanks may actually make sense for you. As a personal user, it's going to take me forever to get through this tank, especially because I want to do a fair amount of stick welding, which doesn't require gas. So I decided to just buy this. If I ever need to, I take it back anywhere, any supplier I want. They will fill it up with 100% pure argon for me. As far as welding mixtures go, I decided to start with 100% pure argon. It's what I've always used for TIG. For MIG welding, you generally want 75-25, which is 75% argon, 25% CO2. If you're welding a lot of aluminum, like thick aluminum, you generally want to use, I believe, 70 or 80% argon and 20% helium. And then it gets super exotic from there. So, you know, if you're talking about super exotic metals, that's fine. You probably know a lot more about welding than I do, and as a result, you know, you figure, you're not watching this video, you can figure it out yourself. The other thing you want to look for is, let me see, find it right here. So this bottle has been recertified plenty of times because these bottles last for a long time. But what you want to look at right here is the certification stamp. And what this means is 14 is 2014. Means this bottle was recertified in 2014 plus star. If I remember correctly, the star means 10 years, the plus means 5. So this bottle is certified until 2029. And so that's good for us. So I don't have to worry about paying the hydrostatic certification fee anytime soon. But at 2029, I will need to recertify this bottle for use. Now, this is the pressure regulator that came with the kit. It's a standard Chinese unit. A lot of people have a lot of success with these. It basically has open flow valve right here, and it shows you SCFH, or how many square cubic, what is it? Yeah, cubic feet per hour. And this flow rate is important depending on what you're welding. You need to know what the appropriate flow rate should be. Basically, I'll use some Teflon when I do this for real, but basically this screws in right here. That little hose screws in right here, and the other side of the hose screws into the back side of the welder. I'm actually not going to deal with this right now because it's the middle of the week and I got some other stuff to do, but this is how everything will be set up. For right now, it's kind of a mess because I don't have a welding cart, but that will be one of the first projects I recommend for any welder, and I'm going to build a really nice one, is to put together a good welding cart that you can use because it will basically give you a way to keep everything organized, keep everything in order. And that's it for this review. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's melt some metal.